Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Hollywood After Dark. It is the 9th of January 2023. Tonight we're going to be talking about MODOK and, of course, Ant-Man 3 Quantumania. Trailer dropped, final trailer dropped. Of course, Last of Us show premiering right now in LA. A lot more to talk about. Also, big oof on my part. It's going to be fun. Let's fucking go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to the party. Welcome to the show. Again, sorry for my delay tonight. I was actually working on something. I don't know how many of you out there are excited to watch more of Patio commentary after the riveting episode about Oblivion. I liked it. But of course, like I've said before, the next episode up is Battle LA or Battle Los Angeles or World Invasion Battle Los Angeles, whatever title you want to call it. I was finishing up watching that movie, and I just spent the last 45 minutes recording the Patio commentary episode, which, of course, will be up on Wednesday. I just wanted to get it up early. YouTube.com/Patio commentary. It is, quite frankly, the best way to get all that information. And then also, I will be watching Puss in Boots and reviewing that on that channel as well. Thank you to everyone who's been giving it a sub and giving it a follow and giving it a listen. I really appreciate it. I know not everybody from the live stream enjoys that kind of stuff. I get it. It's a little bit different. It's hard to get people to go on over, but I'm going to keep asking. Need to get to 1,000 subs in order to get monetized. Need to get about another 3,300 hours of watch content. So, you know what I mean? We might have to do some stuff over there on that particular one. But like I said, I need to kind of, before we dive into everything tonight, I got to kind of give a little bit of an update on this. I have to kind of call out a little bit of an oof. And the oof, my friends, is kind of my own fault. I'll fully admit. The oof is my own fault. So I was actually sent a video today, just a random video link sent to me. Didn't know what it was, didn't click on it, just saw this as the thumbnail and went like, oh, what is this? Like, what is this? What am I looking at here? I have no idea. There's no text on it. There's just the Snyder cut. It's a mock-up. It's a Blu-ray mock-up. Like, what exactly is this video? So I clicked on it, and you know what I found? It's my video. I was talking about this last night, right? I talked about this last night, where I had said Netflix, you know, there was the conversation about Netflix wanting to buy the Snyder Cut. We'd heard about this, but I could not, for the life of me, remember where I'd heard that information. I tried Googling it, couldn't find it. I did use ChatGTP, which did reference it, but without a source, which is not uncommon for ChatGTP. The AI doesn't have the ability to do that. But today, I was sent the source of that information. And it's absolutely crazy because I covered it and I totally forgot. This is nearly 3 years old. I totally spaced on it. So this is just the video. Netflix tried to buy the Snyder Cut, but Warner Brothers refused. ? So just give this a listen. I know. Bit of a bombshell. So let's take a look here at what I'm talking about. So over on the Lightcast pod, which, as a quick thing, I will be on there. My interview with Matt is going to premiere on May the 4th. So look for that. I'll be tweeting about it. Now, he says here, during a Q&A with the Cultured Nerds Taylor Murphy, he accidentally let it slip that Netflix was attempting to get the rights to the Zack Snyder Justice League, but Warner Brothers decided against it. And he clipped this 2-minute segment, which, give that a listen right now.
Have a Netflix account. They're gonna use
Netflix has tried. Like, Netflix has actually tried to talk to WB about getting the Snyder Cut. Warner Brothers declined that. So that tells you that that tells you two things. Either A, they don't like money and they just don't want the movie to ever come out, or B, they have their own plans for its release.
So hold on.
So
did we talk about this before? Are you telling me that Netflix offered to buy the Snyder Cut from Warner Brothers?
I don't think I've ever actually mentioned that. No, they when Zach came in and making Army of the Dead and they heard about the movement, they went out of their way saying, hey, take
Taylor,
this
we're supposed to
movie?
be friends, man. We're supposed to be friends. You haven't told me this.
I don't tell people a lot of things. I feel like this is the most natural way of bringing that to light.
My
I don't know.
heart
It's
was like
Netflix.
doing this right now. I was about to jump on Netflix and cancel this stream.
No, Netflix wanted to do it. Netflix, they found, because honestly, it for Netflix, for instance, it would be cheaper for Netflix to buy a half completed movie and then complete it than it would be to do it from scratch. So for them, it was a very obvious, easy option to, hey, can we make this happen? WB said no. But I honestly thought that was more common knowledge because I thought someone talked about that like a year ago. But I don't remember the conversation I had about this and who it was with. Maybe it was something more private and privy.
Well, it's not private
I don't
anymore,
know.
brother.
I mean,
It's not my fault.
yeah.
See, this is
No,
what
I
happens. We
I
can't
could have
screen
sworn
this.
I could have sworn this was something that was common knowledge like a year and a half ago.
I don't think it was.
Fascinating. Yeah, so fascinating. Fucking fascinating, isn't it, folks? So I forgot about that. I legitimately forgot about that. You know, I've been doing movie coverage on this channel now for almost 6 years. So I just totally spaced on that, right? And for me to look at that, to look back on that, it just brings back a lot of memories. For one, at the time, man, I kind of believed Lightcast, Cultured Nerd. I didn't really have a lot of experience with scoopers, so to speak, right? And a lot of other people validated Taylor and validated Matt from Lightcast. A lot of people came out, you know, and then I realized that I validated and Mikey Sutton, which was a fucking mistake, you know, but I just saying, like, there's that whole thing. So no one else has talked about that specific encounter between Netflix and Zach potentially working with Warner Brothers to buy the Snyder Cut. Now, what he's referring to most likely, and the answer he would probably give, would be like, oh, during the negotiations of acquiring the rights to Army of the Dead, this came up. That's like what they're playing with. But it's just like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Holy fucking shit. Now we know where that originated and we know it's bullshit. If you know anything about Lightcast and the Cultured Nerd, you know it's absolutely bullshit. I can't believe it. But you know, this is the thing that happens when you have got, you know, when you've got yourself in a position to where you are able to command that kind of attention, right? Like you're able to command that kind of attention and you're able to do it in a way that has people captivated, right? That it has people very much interested and they'll believe you because it's cognitive bias, it's cognitive dissonance, right? It's confirmation bias. Reed saying, was Lightcast a Mikey Sutton precursor? Well, if you're Sil Abdul, the answer to that is, oh yeah. But no, those guys were doing their own thing, but they were only operating within the DCEU sector. When they went away, did you notice that that's kind of when Mikey Sutton and Sil started like really bringing it? They just grabbed that audience because the audience at the time was 100%, you know, like needing that kind of source to tell them exactly what they want to hear. So I'm like shocked that I had forgot about it because usually I'm pretty good at remember these sort of things, but that was crazy. And I just wanted to bring this up here for like, bring up the Cultured Nerds website real quick. So I haven't been on here in quite some time. I don't even know how active they are, right? You know, they have, oh, look, okay, Megan, right? Review of Megan. They've got a couple other things here, you know, but I mean, you can see it's like barely active, right? December 12th, January 9th, November 20th, November 11th, you know, and you're not really seeing Taylor Murphy or Taylor Landine as his name really is. So you're not seeing any of that, but I'll tell you what you're going to see, right? You look up here at the top here, they got these stuff. Look what number 1 is. Zack Snyder says Lex Luthor would have saved humanity with a nuke in Justice League 3. Well, gee, I wonder what this is here. When did, June 30th, 2021. June 30th, 2021. And that is still the number 1 slide on their front page, just to give you an idea for how utterly bad this website has gone. You know what I mean? It's just there's that. Yeah, it's just terrible. Spherical Man here asking, so did I put the update the meme to put my head on there? No, I did not. That this meme still stands. I can admit that I'm wrong. I didn't shoot myself in the foot. All right. I definitely was wanting to believe a little bit back then. Okay. Wanting to believe a little bit. All right. I ain't no Snorlax with the hard X, folks. But you know, it's definitely a thing. So that was the what I had uncovered today, which I thought was crazy and wild in my opinion. Garrick here for 5. Thank you so much, buddy. Asking patio commentary ideas for movies that turn 20. Daredevil, The Rundown, Pirates of the Caribbean, Kill Bill, Freddy versus Jason. God damn, dude, Freddy versus Jason's turning 20. Holy shit. Freddy versus, yeah, that was August 2003. Fun fact about Freddy versus Jason, by the way. Did you know that movie and Finding Nemo were the only 2 films in 2013 or 2003 to be box office 2 weeks in a row, number 1 2 weeks in a row? Even Pirates of the Caribbean, I believe, was usurped by the Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, after it came out, because it was like July 3rd for Pirates, July 10th for Terminator. That was a busy summer for me. I was 21 when that happened. I remember going to see Daredevil in theaters. I went to the midnight show of that. I went to a special screening of The Rundown when I was running for governor of California, because that's almost 20 years old. Pirates I've seen 65 times. You have no idea how many times I've seen that. Kill Bill Volume 1 dropped October like 1st or something, 2003, up against House of the Dead. But yeah, there's a lot to watch. There's a lot that's going to be going on there. Also, I did see this one too. Patio commentary ideas for films that turn 30. Jurassic Park, Last Action Hero, Cliffhanger, Demolition Man. Any of those appealing? All of them are appealing. Actually, I wonder if I can find it. Real quick, because let's see here. All right, hold on. I think the very first patio commentary that I did. Yeah, there we go. Let me just bring this one up here. The very first patio commentary that I did was Demolition Man, believe it or not. And I did this was from, when was this? I need to go look at the details here. This was published or premiered. God, I gotta bring up the actual fucking thing. Let me actually, I'm just gonna bring it up over here so you guys can see it real quick, because this is old. I mean, dude, I love Demolition Man, right? Like, I love Demolition Man. That is one of my all-time favorite movies. It is infinitely quotable. It's a blast. I mean, here, look at this one here. This is the first thumbnail that I made, right? Patio commentary with like what appears to be Predator 2 font. I just realized that a little bit, right? And then this was on, what day was this? This was almost 2 years ago. March 7th, 2020 is when I did this. And this is one that I put out. I streamed it. We can get an idea here if I just bring this one up. Hold on. We'll just do that. There we go. So this is why Demolition Man is the last great 80s action flick. Patio commentary 001. I've been using StreamYard now for a long time. Even have the Hollywood After Dark, the old HWAD logo. You guys see that? The old HWAD logo up there? I don't know if I have it up here still. I might have it in the branding. Let me see. Do I still have it? No, I've since deleted it. But that's the old Hollywood After Dark logo there. And so yeah, this is just what it is. 26 years and just a couple months, we have been able to watch what I consider to be the last great 1980s action film. This came out October 3rd, 1993. And to my mind, it very much is the last of the 80s inspired action movies. And it holds up. It's a 44-minute or 41-minute long video. And there's visual assets. I go through, I think, like, do I read the Wikipedia? I think I read the Wikipedia at some point. But oh yeah, I look at the Wikipedia. What I did today for I used StreamYard today for the Battle LA one, but it was a little bit different. I already have on my script out done for that shit. But anyway, yeah, that's out there. You guys can find that one. I do love Demolition Man. I love Last Action Hero. I love the Cliffhanger. You know, I worked on a Rennie Harlan movie, and I brought up how much I love Cliffhanger. I tried bringing up how much I enjoyed the Cutthroat Island, but they wanted to shut that down. A lot of good stuff to talk about. 20-year-old, 30-year-old movies, a lot there to talk about. It's good stuff, good stuff. Jess here for 5. Thank you so much, Jess. Saying here, which way is our society heading towards? Demolition Man or Idiocracy? We're going to go towards the technology of Demolition Man, but I mean, like, it feels like Idiocracy will lead to Demolition Man, if that makes any sense, right? What I mean by that is the culture of Idiocracy being uneducated, ill-educated rubes for the most part, easily distracted by movies titled ass, you know, and just a degradation of society through very poor breeding habits. No, I'm not arguing for eugenics. I'm just pointing out dumb people like to fuck. Okay, there's that. Not to say that their children are dumb, but when you don't have the investment into education, you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say, right? Put more money in education. Anyway, so it's going to get to a point where the elite society, the ones that actually have the education, are going to be the ones that take over, and they turn us into more of a very like structured and socially regressive society, which is what Demolition Man is. Demolition Man is very socially regressive. And I mean, look, I mentioned this today on Twitter, and I'm going to do a full fucking segment on it. Not tonight, but I'll do it probably sometime before the game comes out. We all know about Gamergate. I brought up Gamergate before. I was in Gamergate, and I made a comment today on Twitter. In my mind, the one thing right now that will bring Gamergate back would be Hogwarts Legacy, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking. That Hogwarts Legacy is going to come back. It's going to bring Gamergate back because it's nonsense. There was a guy today literally telling me that you like, he compared it. His metaphor for the game was like, you, the main character, are playing as the KKK and trying to keep black people from obtaining civil rights. It was said to me with 100% seriousness. It was not hyperbole. That is the culture war that is now being established about fucking Hogwarts Legacy. All right. And I think, you know, JK said some dumb shit. I don't agree with it, but it's not like she's actively developing the game, but people are trying to turn it into this massive cultural thing. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that Fantastic Beasts 3 just bombed, killed the franchise. And so this is the next target. Never mind, Zaslav wants to keep working with fucking JK in order to, you know, continue the Harry Potter fucking franchise. It's a whole fucking thing. So yeah, I think one can lead into the other, to be fair. Donovan here says, Logan Paul is leading our generation astray. No, he's really not. Willie here says, what about Super Mario Bros, Coneheads, and Hocus Pocus? Coneheads I love. Hocus Pocus I love. I actually did do a Podio commentary last year about the making of Super Mario Brothers. Not really going into the nitty gritty of the movie itself. That's up there on the channel, actually. If you go to Podio commentary on YouTube, you can find that one. I like The Thing and Cloverfield, and I'm going to redo all those episodes because even though in this case I'm talking about it, I am going through the plot. I'm giving more of my opinion and things along those lines. And that to me is a lot of fun. But yeah, those are always great. Let's see. Garrick for 5. Thank you, buddy. Says, which dystopian future would you rather live in? Demolition Man, Judge Dredd, Running Man, Idiocracy, or Blade Runner? You know what, man? I'm going to probably, this is going to sound bad, probably going to go with Demolition Man. And I say that for a couple of reasons. One, I love Taco Bell. All right. I don't give a shit. I love Taco Bell. Okay. And it's a cleaner society. It's a very ergonomic society. You have to have a license to have children, which I think is wonderful. I say this as a parent of 2, right? But I've always thought that in many instances, I mean, you can have sex without like fear of sexual, you can do the physical response to it without even needing like the cleanup, all things considered, right? That part was great. It was more technologically advanced, more technologically progressive than, let's say, The Running Man, which was a society that was on the brink of collapse. It absolutely needed blood sports, gladiatorial combat in the vein of a game show in order to push that. Judge Dredd was just a degrading society that relied more on authoritarianism through the judge program. But then again, fucking Dredd is the shit. Then you've also got Idiocracy, which is just like, I would probably, if I lived in Idiocracy, I'd probably become president. To be fair, I'd probably be able to become president. I know that sounds ego driven. I think any one of us here could become president of the United States, by the way. Right. But if I had somehow fallen into a cryo chamber, gone 500 years into the future and woke up and everyone is, remedial with a hard R. Yeah, I think I'm going to be president. You know what I'm saying? Although I would like to go to the House of Representatives, and I would like President Camacho to give an address just to hear him say, shit's tough right now. And of course, Blade Runner, that would just appeal to my desire to want to probably have sex with robots, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it'd be all good. Reed here for 5. Thank you very much, buddy. Says, Get Back series from Disney Plus. I know it's not your cup of tea, but the long hours are worth it. What is Get Back? I don't know what Get Back is. Is that like for a patio commentary? I'm not really going to do TV shows because of the investment, the time investment. Like I can watch them and review them. Like I'm going to do The Last of Us and I'm going to review like each episode, but like, and maybe do discussions or whatever. But I'm not planning on like, doing a patio comment. I mean, I might for something like The Last of Us because it's meant to just be like, there's a lot there to talk about. I don't know, but thank you for that one, Reed. I appreciate that. Although explain to me better what happened. Anyway, Blargan here says the thing about Demolition Man is we only saw what happened to California after the big one. We have no real idea of what the rest of the country world looks like, and it's probably highly different. That is true, but Blargan, you have to understand, I want to, and this is not joking, this is 100% serious. I want to move back to California. I miss California. I want to live in Southern California. I don't care if it's LA, Santa Barbara, or San Diego. Preferably, I'd love to live somewhere in Los Angeles to have access to this stuff, as well as to try to get back to my filmmaker roots. But at the same time, I would gladly go back to San Diego just to chill with my homies. And to dude, San Diego is a chill vibe city, dude. Like, that's kind of what I want. Like to go to the beach with my kids and shit, have a good time. I mean, I know there's a lot going on with Southern California, but it's not a bad place to live. It's really, really, really not. All right, Reed here for 5. Thank you. Says patio commentary episode from Disney Plus. I know it's not a cup of tea. Well, I mean, like, but again, is that Get Back? Oh, are you talking like Get Back is like the fucking Beatles documentary? Is that what you're talking about? I'm not really big into the Beatles, to be fair. Not that I don't like the Beatles. I'm just not like a huge aficionado. And if that's what you're talking about, I haven't seen it. But I would review it. I just probably wouldn't do a patio commentary on it, but I would probably review it. Thank you. Jess here also for 5. Thank you. Says there's lots of issues with Hogwarts. People are getting fired for supporting it. Well, the person who got fired, I think from limited run games, which was that the whole thing is a goddamn mess. I think like it was mostly about libs of TikTok is why I think they got fired. I will be doing more of a deep dive into it. I might end up doing that in the morning because I've got a lot of my research scripts done for patio commentary all the way through February. I just got to watch the movies and record them. But yeah, I could look into that tomorrow and maybe do that. Okay. Donovan says, well, why, Matt, have you seen Logan literally being caught scamming people with crypto? I mean, yeah, look, Logan Paul sucks. Do not get me wrong. But I'm also not at the point where I'm like, Logan Paul is not the worst person in the world for scamming people with crypto. He's a dick, and that needs to be called out because crypto is rife with that kind of situation. But that's what I'm saying is like, I think it's because I'm also on the YouTuber side of things. I think that might be influencing things a little bit. I just want him to open up about the dead body because I know that it was fake. Ralph Stubble-Tits here says, Blade Runner, I want my hologram of Ana de Armas. Look, man, you and me, same page. All right. You and me, same page. Same page. Yeah, that was good. That was good. Rational asking if we can watch the game trailer. Yeah, we'll do that at the end, buddy. We'll do that at the end. Thank you. Command unit here says, who is the most evil character in 40K? All right, we'll do the lore at the end. Thank you for that, buddy. Appreciate that. Reed here with another $5. It's the Get Back series for party commentary. I know it's your cup of tea. Like I could do a review, or you know what? I mean, we could talk about it. You know, we'll bring it up one time. Okay, we'll definitely bring it up one time. Again, for me, I'm just not. If it's the Beatles, I'm just not huge into the Beatles. It's just, you know, it's not that I'm saying like I'm not like, you know, I know there's the whole concept of like Stones versus Beatles. I'm neither. Those were like the 60s, 70s, dude. You know, literally the 60s. I was born in 82. You know, they're saying it's that one. Tales from the Hood here says, I'm so tired of Lizzo. Don't quite know why. Let's see. You would be killed by the previous president. I would fight for my country. Whatever, dude. You're an accelerationist, all right? Our reviews out for TLU. I don't know if they're out yet, but we can look at some videos coming out of the red carpet, because the Naughty Dog Twitter has been talking about that quite a bit. So we'll get into that one there. Chan asking, have I seen Tulsa King? I don't have Paramount Plus, so no. But I do want to. I hear good things about it. Let's see. Garrick here says, but Dave Rubin says California is bad. Yeah, no, Dave Rubin's a moron. All right. Dave Rubin had to like move. Here's the thing with Dave Rubin. I know we're way off topic. We have like 100 people watching right now, so smack the like, guys. Here's the thing with Rubin. Rubin's all like, oh, God, I left the left, you guys, to try to become a right-wing comic, which is just terrible because he sucks at it. But the thing to consider is that like the dude sold out his opinion to a group of people that wished death upon him when he announced that him and his husband had gotten, they had decided to have children via surrogacy. And they're going to have 2 kids. The 2 kids are already alive. They're already been born and stuff like that. And his entire base are just full of people that would rather burn him at the stake because he moved to Florida as a gay man who's a conservative for sale. Trained Old School says, come to San Diego. We can make some short films. You know what, man? I probably would. I wouldn't mind shooting some point of view found footage shit back out there again. You know, Mission Gorge, go out maybe to the Cleveland National Forest, go out there a little bit, maybe go out to Potrero, maybe during SCA or something, pop down to Tecate a little bit, you know, fucking go down to, you know, there's all over. There's a ton of stuff there. Borrego Springs, go out that way. You know, Black's Beach, if you know what I'm talking about there, boy. Yep, Black's Beach. I went to Black's Beach once and I got nude for like a second. Ralph's Double Titzer says VHS Podio commentary and all those directors. Yeah, that could be an idea. That would be a long episode, but I could definitely do that. I gotta, you know, I gotta figure those out a little bit. That's kind of the thing. There's a member chat. Thank you for telling me about a member chat. Now I have to go and find it. Give me a second. I ended up going off my page, so I gotta dive back into that one there. Let's see. Live. Where am I at? Okay. So, I'll get to that one here in a second. We got Reed for $2 more. I did the same thing. I'm tired. I hear you, man. I hear you. Today's been a long day. My kid woke up at 3 and stayed awake. So yeah, it's been interesting. Command Unit here for 5. Thank you. So you should watch and review Major Grom Plague Doctor. Yeah, I know you've been asking me about that. Let me see here. Major Grom Plague Doctor. Let me look at the wiki. If there's a wiki on it, because I can adapt the wiki if it talks about the production. Okay, there's enough there to pull from production that I can talk about there. I can do some research on that. I'm bookmarking that wiki page right now, just as an FYI. But thank you for that. I did like the trailer quite a bit. Let's see. Jerry here says, I'm still boycotting Warner Brothers and I still want to see Batgirl. I hope you get to. I hope we all get to at some point in time. Oh, you're talking about being the president. I know is what you're talking about fighting President Camacho. You know, but the thing is though, remember, all you got to do is just tell them that, you know, Brondo has electrolytes. It's what plants crave. You gotta love it. You gotta love it, folks. Good stuff. What the heck? That was weird. My Discord just beeped and I have no idea why. Okay, that's kind of weird. Anyway, okay. Willie here says, speaking of Sly Cooper, did they mention a movie? They did mention a movie a couple years back, and they had a trailer for it, but it was never mentioned again. That sounds like Sony. Sony is the worst. All right. And then Garrick asking, have you ever seen Strange Days, written by James Cameron? Also doesn't have a Blu-ray release. Yes, I have seen Strange Days. It was written by James Cameron, directed by Catherine Bigelow. At the time, she was his wife. So at the time, yeah, I've seen that. And of course, she went on to go do Zero Dark 30 and The Hurt Locker. Both movies I feel are wildly overrated. But I do need to watch Strange Days again because I remember liking it. Was it Angela Bassett, Juliette Lewis, Ralph Fiennes, right? I remember it being pretty good. I got to watch it again. Is this streaming anywhere? Can anyone find out if it's streaming anywhere? That'd be pretty great. Also, Zachary here for 5. Thank you, buddy. Says stuck 500 years in the future with a popular show called "Ow My Balls." That's yeah. I mean, think about that. It would not be hard to dominate that society, right? Especially when everyone has a chair you can just defecate and jerk off into. And if you knock on the door, go away. I'm baiting. Like, hey, you want to go to Starbucks? I don't have time for a hand job right now. Oh, I love Idiocracy. I actually argue that Idiocracy is a better movie than Office Space, right? I think just in regards to the culture that they are lampooning, right? I just, it's on Hulu. Oh, fuck yeah. Cause it was put out through Fox. That's right. Idiocracy was put out through Fox. You gotta love it, guys. You gotta love it. That's always a lot of fun with that stuff. All right, why don't we talk a little bit about, we'll get into some movie stuff. I know you guys want to talk about that stuff. Why don't we talk about the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer, which dropped today, which is all the rage, all the news, all this stuff. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's excited about it. And let's check out the trailer, see what you guys have to say about it.
You're an interesting man, Scott Lang. You're an Avenger. You have a daughter. But you've lost a lot of time, like me. We can help each other with that. Who are you? I'm the man who can give you the one thing you want. What's that? Time.
I can rewrite existence and shatter timelines. You cannot trust him.
I don't care who this guy is. I just lost so much. He can give us a second chance.
Let me make this easy for you. You will bring me what I need, or everything you call a life will end.
This is all my fault.
You may not want her to watch this.
We had a deal.
You thought you could win.
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose. I'm sorry, Cassie.
Hell yeah, man. Look, I'm telling you guys, that looks amazing. Like, Peyton Reed learned a lot from The Mandalorian working on that for those couple episodes. Like, I know after doing that, when they were talking about getting this movie done, Peyton Reed went to Kevin and he's like, dude, I can't be a side character no more, man. I need to have an Avengers level event. And this is it. And I think, like, that's fantastic. The creator of Bricks here says they showed way too much. I don't think it did. It really didn't. It didn't tell us much. It didn't really tell us much at all. If anything, I'm going to guess that it's going to be like a heist movie, another heist movie, because that's kind of the idea that they're going for. But what I really enjoy about that, and this is like, so let me explain why I'm going to be in this headspace and why it kind of impacted me the way that it did today. So, like I said, my child woke up at 3 a.m. this morning, my 5-year-old, and we were hanging out. I got up at 6. And we were hanging out, and I was having breakfast, and I was showing her photos of when she was born and when her sister was born. She wanted to see them. So we spent like 20, 30 minutes going through my phone, and I'm just showing her all these old photos from like 5 years ago when she was just a baby. And I'm looking at these photos, and I can't remember. I have trouble remembering those individual moments, right? Like I have trouble remembering a lot of those individual moments because I see her every single day. So it's like there's stuff that is you have your milestones, but there's so much that gets lost into the cracks because you just every day. And so when he's talking about how like Scott lost time with Cassie, because he lost 5 years, but never mind the 5 years, he lost all that time before then because he was struggling and he was trying to get by, and he had to deal with all that shit, and he just wasn't in a good space. And then he becomes an Avenger and he ends up saving the world. But in the process, it cost him 5 years, formidable years with his daughter. Those years that every parent says, like, these are the best years. And so now he's being offered that ability to go back and spend that time with this kid, right? He's got all that time to be able to do that. That's kind of what it is. And so as a dad to a daughter, I'm just looking at that and I'm like, man, holy crap, dude. Like, that's wild, like, that to me is just like, that's significant. That is absolutely significant. It's just like, that is, yeah, Donovan's right. This is going to have an emotional crutch. Exactly. Right. And I think it needs to have that. It needs to have that connection, to be able to go back and spend that time with your kid. And I just feel like that's something that's going to be amazing, right? That to me is going to be the bigger thing of that, because I think the themes of that are going to run parallel to Janet Van Dyne and Hope Van Dyne, and Janet having been gone for those 30 years, and how that negatively impacted Hank, and how that negatively impacted Hope, and how that drove a wedge between their relationship with father-daughter. That was played out in the first movie, and that was a bit there in the second one. All right. But it's just, that's what I'm saying, is it's just one of those scenarios there. Now, Benson here says that Interstellar dealt with the subject, and I think Interstellar handled it stupidly. I despise the third act of Interstellar. I should watch it again. It's been a long time. But like when it goes from being like hardcore sci-fi to like Stanley Kubrick at his worst machinations, right? I'm my own ghost. It's like that movie, The Stupids, with the song I Am My Own Grandpa with Tom Arnold. I'm just saying, it's just no. Interstellar dropped the ball so bad at the end of that movie, which is crazy, because Inception didn't. But then again, The Dark Knight Rises and Interstellar both had kind of lackluster endings, and so there's that, right? But either way, I am excited to see what happens with this. I think it's going to be an incredible movie, coming off of, what Peyton had done. So you guys got to remember, Peyton Reed did I think he did Bring It On. I think he did Bring It On. And like, he's come from doing a beloved high school teenage cheerleader comedy that's over 20 years old, to doing a trilogy of Ant-Man films. He actually completed the trilogy of movies before James Gunn finished him, for being one singular director tackling these movies, right? Because remember, like, that was a joke, because Jon Favreau only did Iron Man 2. Taika did Thor Love and Thunder and Thor Ragnarok, so only 2 of those movies, and it's just like, again, Joss Whedon only did Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron. But, the Russos. Yeah, the Russos did, Winter Soldier and Civil War. And then, of course, the other Avengers movies that kind of do their own thing. I think it's I'm happy to see him get the opportunity to tell the story. Right, Fandom NSLs does bring up John Watts. Now, we can argue the semantics of that, but you're ultimately correct. Yes, you are ultimately correct. John Watts was able to pull that off. I'm very interested to see what he does next. I'm kind of bummed he's not doing Fantastic Four, but at the same time, I look at what he, I think Matt Shakeman did a good job with WandaVision, so I really want to see what they do with that next. Also, real quick here, I want to make sure I get this. Spherical Man dropped a member chat, been a matinee member for 9 months. Thank you. Says, Matt, I'm about to give birth and the baby's yours. No, not another one. Not another one. I've already. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see how that whole thing plays out. But again, like, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's going to be happening with Marvel in Phase 5. I think Phase 4. I see Benson here says, I'm giving Marvel one more chance. I wasted so much money on the diabolical Phase 4. If this is another crap fest, I won't return to Marvel until the Contour Man reboot. I like Phase 4. I have no problem with Phase 4, but I understand that it's not it's not for everybody. We were, I think Fandom NSLs and I were talking about it this morning, and my take on it is like, look, they had the shifting of everything from 2020 into 2021 and 2022 hurt it because they crammed so much in there, but they've also been planning so many things that go out for so many years. And that ends up being the bigger problem. That ends up being the bigger issue, and so JGTV here says Phase 4 was a buildup just like Phase 1. I mean, if you think about it, that's correct, right? We got the whole situation with, what's it called? With Kang, right? We learned about Kang and Loki. Now we're going to get Kang in the movie, and then we get the Kang Dynasty, and a lot of other crap's going to be coming down the pipeline as well. So obviously we're in a situation that's going to have a lot going on for it. They're going to be really building this kind of stuff up. And again, I think just with all of that, it's going to be a lot of fun because I like Marvel. I agree with Jess here that Phase 5 was pretty janky. I agree with that. I do. It was like, I have no direct issue with it, but I don't hate it, right? Tales from the Hood here says Phase 4 wasn't perfect. Neither was Phase 2. I mean, Phase 2, what do we have? Phase 2 was Iron Man 3, Thor 2, Winter Soldier, Guardians, Age of Ultron, Ant-Man. And then am I missing another one? Was there another one? I think that was about it, right? And so, I mean, yeah, Thor 2 was definitely not beloved. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't beloved. Iron Man 3 got a lot of flack. Again, I feel Shane Black did a good job with it. Wasn't a huge fan of like how they used Guy Pearce, but they also were tying that into the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show at the time. You could tell they were kind of co-developing and everything else. Age of Ultron I really liked. Ant-Man I really liked. Guardians I really liked. And Captain America Winter Soldier I loved. So, and I love Guardians. So the 2014 fair was pretty good. So there's a lot of, I mean, okay, yes. Was Age of Ultron a step down from Avengers? Yes, it was, but it was also like, it was meant to kind of be the Empire Strikes Back kind of take on it, I think, right? Where it was meant to be like, they're up against some seriously dark shit that they're up against themselves. That's kind of the whole point about Age of Ultron. It wasn't them versus an extraterrestrial threat or an ethereal threat. It was them versus themselves, their own fear of what could come based upon what happened in the Avengers is what prompted Tony to create the Ultron project. It makes a lot of sense when you start breaking it down thematically and through characters and whatnot. And I just think it's great. JTV says Age of Ultron has aged like wine. Fine wine or box wine? That's kind of a question. H-Bart's here with a good point. At least now we get an Ant-Man that means something. You're right. I mean, there's no mention of Ghost in this. I know Ghost is going to come back in Thunderbolts, but yeah, really, it's just like, there's all that. Yeah, Ralph's Double Tits is correct. Ultron 1, he created the divide that exploded in Civil War, which is very true. And that led into the team breaking apart. So when we had Infinity War, they were able to come together, but they had to have that conflict. So it worked out real well. I think it worked out real well. Let's see. Phantom Menace Elser says, Mr. Electric, send MODOK to the principal's office and have him expelled. I don't know the reference on that one there. Zachary asking, have I seen the Eternals yet? The answer to that is no. No. I need to, but no, I haven't. I can't, guys. I'm trying. I really, really, really am trying. Garrick here for 5. Thank you so much, Garrick. At least Marvel was able to get through phases. DC even you could get through phase 1. Womp, 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 womp. Yeah, you're right, though. You are right. You are right. You are absolutely correct. It's terrible. It's terrible that they couldn't get through that, but now they can because they've got a guy who was taught the way from Marvel. They got the guy taught by Marv to come on in and do all that, right? So it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be all right, you guys. I think it's going to be okay. I think everything on that front's going to be probably just fine. You know, we'll be all right. We'll survive. All right. So there's another thing that popped up today. There's not a lot of news today, to be fair. But one of the things that was really interesting, we've kind of talked about it before, is the Francis Ford Coppola's magnum opus, right? This is his magnum opus, Megalopolis, right? Megalopolis. This is his $120 million movie where he is putting up like his cash, his scratch, his cheddar, his cheese, his bills. This guy is fronting the money for this. And remember, like, this is his final movie. What am I going to say? He hasn't directed a movie in 12 years. This is most likely his final movie. He's like 80 years old, I think, or he's up there, right? It's been 50 years since The Godfather. But now this movie is just like, it's just falling apart. And I wonder if this just has to do with like old filmmaker trying to learn new tricks and it not working out the way that he wants to. And again, no shade at all on Francis Ford Coppola. All right. The guy has directed some great films. And it's not to say that he hasn't done effects driven films before, right? Captain EO, for example, is a very effects heavy short film that he did a great job with for being in the mid 80s. It was Michael Jackson in Star Wars. I mean, it was produced by fucking Lucas, you know, it had Angelica Houston as the bad guy and Michael Jackson and shit. It was great. But this is something now where he's kind of been out of it for a while. And I can't help but wonder if this is a problem he finds himself in. So let's find out more. Francis Ford Coppola's latest movie, the sci-fi tinged Megalopolis, has descended into chaos according to multiple sources. The movie, currently halfway through shooting in Atlanta, has in the last week lost key creative talent, including its production designer and supervising art director. That's on top of losing the entire visual effects team in the first part of December. To many insiders, the production is giving severe Apocalypse Now vibes, and it's one on which the iconoclastic 83-year-old director is breaking a cardinal Hollywood rule: never spend your own money. Megalopolis has been a passion project for decades in the making for the filmmaker, who turned heads in the fall of 2021 when news broke that he would self-finance the $120 million film, partially with the tens of millions he made selling his popular Northern California wineries. The budget has since expanded, and the film is now about halfway through its 80 to 90 day shoot, but a production source says it's unclear whether the production can go forward as planned. Representatives for Coppola didn't respond for request for comment. Now, Coppola has assembled a starry cast for the project, including Adam Driver, Nathalie Emmanuel, Forrest Whitaker, Lawrence Fishburne, John Voight, Talia Shire, Shia LaBeouf, Jason Schwartzman, and Dustin Hoffman. The film centers on an architect who seeks to rebuild New York as a utopia after a disaster. Sources say that Coppola initially employed new virtual production technology similar to that used in The Mandalorian, but as the challenges and the cost of that approach have mounted, the sources say the production is tempted to pivot to a less costly, more traditional green screen approach. Oh my God. It's going from the volume back to green screen. I mean, yeah, when I was watching Battle LA, they had some green screen stuff there that was like, oof, but that was also a decade old. Garrick here says, Coppola has been through this before. Ever look into the trouble production behind Apocalypse Now? Here's a funny confession. I've never seen Apocalypse Now. I've never seen Apocalypse Now. I literally haven't. But I've heard it has a lot of problem. I've heard it has a lot of problem. So there's that. But there's documentaries on it, right? Like I should totally do that. Yeah, Donovan here. No, don't go back. 100%. 100%. Skullman here giving me shit. You still need to watch the first few Godfather films. There's a reason why they're considered by many the greatest of all time. I'm not saying there's not, man. I'm just saying it's like the dude's 83 years old and he's like self-financing his own movie, which I have no problem with. And I understand that people out there are going to be like, they say never spend your own money, blah, blah, blah. But if you're spending somebody else's money, like I think putting up your own cash is like, that's kind of a baller move, dude. That's like a slap your dick on the table. Like I'm funding this shit, motherfucker. I'm going to do what I want. But the problem though, is when you're doing something that's as visual effects heavy, when you're not a very strong visual effects, at least on the the computer side of things, very strong director. Willie here says, Bram Stoker's Dracula was great. Well, kinda. I mean, yeah, I saw someone mention today, talking shit about Keanu's accent in that movie as well, but visually it's amazing. Let's see here. JP says there's a VFX supervisor for a reason, so they can streamline the production, give advice to make the movie making process easier. Exactly. But if he lost those people back in December, that's a big fucking problem. So, all right. Sources say Coppola, who has never made an effects heavy movie. Well, I mean, that particular quote got roasted in some elements of film Twitter today, mostly because they're like, have you not seen Apocalypse Now? Have you seen the effects in that movie? And we're like, yeah, we're talking visual. All right. We're talking visual here. We're not talking, we're not talking the practical side of things. Anyway, fired. Okay, so he fired his entire visual effects team on December 9th, with the rest of that department soon following. Mark Russell, a veteran whose credits include In the Heights and The Wolf of Wall Street, was leading the team as visual effects supervisor. Coppola famously fired his visual effects department on Dracula 30 years ago. Oh, okay. So he's just kind of doing his own thing again. All right. More recently, production designer Beth Mickle and supervising art director David Scott have departed. Between firings and resignations, a source says the film now has no art department. Russell, Mickle, and Scott did not respond to the request. The Art Directors Guild supports all art departments to ensure proper staffing and scheduling, and is currently looking into the situation with Megalopolis to determine the next steps. We have no further comment at this point. So, I mean, one talent representative whose client is among those who was fired says the dismissal was a blessing in disguise. It was absolute madness being on set. So I have to wait and see. I mean, this is one of those movies where we really are just going to have to wait and see. I'm polling for Coppola. You know what I mean? I'm polling for Coppola. I really am. I want to see what he can do with it. I really do. Benson here says, pay for your own movies and you get the Star Wars prequels. Oh no, Fox footed the bill for those. Let's make perfectly clear. 20th Century Fox footed the bill for those movies. George Lucas just had full creative control. The difference there is the full creative control. That's what you're talking about. Fox definitely paid for that shit. I mean, George, got the money for the first ones. I forget exactly how, but whatever. All right. What else is there here? Garrick for 5. Thank you. It says, talking shit. Matt hasn't seen Rocky, The Godfather, Apocalypse Now, but he's seen the Netflix Marmaduke movie. I have. Yeah, that is an L I have to take. That's an L that I have to acknowledge. I do have all the Rocky movies. HBart sent me them on Blu-ray, very generous, and the Downton Abbey Blu-ray for the second movie, which I still need to watch. My girlfriend and I have been trying to find time to watch it. And yeah, I haven't seen any of them. I don't own Apocalypse Now, and I will never own the Netflix Marmaduke movie. It is bad. It was recommended to us the other day, and I'm like, no. Not gonna watch it, you guys. Not gonna do it. Not gonna happen. Not gonna be a thing. All right. Let's see. Jason Schwartzman and Nick Cage are related to Coppola. Oh, Schwartzman I know Nick Cage is his nephew, which is why he changed his last name to Cage and not Coppola because he didn't want the nepotism. He didn't want the nepotism. Let's see. H Bart's here says Coppola and Scorsese are old men yelling at clouds. I would say Scorsese less so. All right, less so. But if it's funny you mentioned that. Is that I think that if this movie gets severely fucked, okay, if you have the visual effects designer that or supervisor that did Wolf of Wall Street with Martin Scorsese, and that guy bailed out of that thing, I have a feeling Scorsese is going to come in to save this movie. I have a feeling that's going to happen. Not to say that he might like finance it, but I have a feeling like Martin's going to pull up and just like, he's going to help out Frank. He's going to help out Frankie Boy. He's going to do what he has to do. I have a feeling that's what he's going to do. And you know what? That's bros. That's bros. All right. Like that's the whole thing with the bros. Like they've been friends for 50 years. Like, yeah, you come on in, you help out your bro. 100%. I think they should do it. I have no issue with that. They totally do that shit. Todd here says Jarbo for president. Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll get up there and I'll give my 7 years ago I was taking a shit on a porta potty in an airplane. I had this magnificent idea to run the country. Anyway, I'd be terrible at that one there. Calvin Jr. here says ID43 is dead in the water. I know. I feel like I'm the only one that enjoyed Resurgence. You know, I have a feeling that there's that. How do I feel about Nicolas Cage's Dracula? Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. The Renfield trailer, right? Yeah, we should watch that actually. Because I watched that again today. It's great. I loved it. Garrick here says Don Bluth is related to Mitt Romney. Wow. That's crazy though. Spherical Man here. Wow. You liked ID42. You liked Independence Day Resurgence, but you will not fucking watch Avatar? Bro. What are you doing? Bro, what is this? All right? Like, that's the thing. Anyway, I agree with Blargan here, though. Resurgence was fun, but my God, it was lacking in the disaster porn. Still weird to me how Emmerich didn't deliver much. Yeah, I think it was made for more of the international audience. Like, that was one of the first times I saw, like, I really looked at the script of that movie and went, wow, this was written to be as, like, simple and remedial as humanly possible for the purpose of translation. And yeah, but I mean, I enjoyed it well enough. Would have liked to have seen the third one. Garrick asking Con Air or Face Off. Ooh, man. Oh, I'm going to probably go with Con Air just because, like, okay, I love Face Off. I do. Saw it opening day in theaters, you know, like, wasn't old enough to see it yet. Had someone buy my ticket, snuck in, saw the movie, loved it. Con Air, like, I feel is just, it's campier. It's produced by Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer. I think it was like Don Simpson's like last movie, right? Was it, or was that The Rock? Either way, Bruckheimer produced it. Simon West directed it. Nicolas Cage was in it. John Malkovich, Ving Rhames, fucking Steve Buscemi, Dave Chappelle. I mean, like, you know, Colm Meaney. All right. Why don't we bring up how awesome Colm O'Brien was in that movie? I mean, not that he was great, but like, he was in the movie. Like, you got fucking, you know, Chief Officer O'Brien from DS9 and fucking TNG popping up in Con Air, man. All right. Like, it was good. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. Right. I still occasionally, like, you know, nobody moves or the bunny gets it sort of quote. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a good movie. Face Off though is just, it's John Woo kicking ass and shit with Travolta and Cage chewing up all the scenery that they can. I mean, Nick Cassavetes, right, was in there, like the guy who directed fucking Alpha Dog and shit. Like, he was in the movie. Gina Gershon, you know, like, who else was in there? Dominic Swain. Not that you've seen her in anything in forever, but, you know, like, she was the daughter and stuff. I think she went on from that movie to go do like Lolita with like Jeremy Irons for like HBO or something. I never saw it, but I saw the box art once and I was like, what the fuck is this? But anyway, I love those movies. Con Air is not lame. What are you talking about? That's a bad take. That's Fear Commander says, I liked ID42. Who cares about blue cats in space? That's a bad take, sir. It's a bad take. That's a bad take. Enterprising Ear says Con Air all the way. H Bar says Face Off, not even John Woo's best film. I mean, yeah, but like, you know, it's better than Wind Talkers. Zachary says, I really like Con Air, but I loved Face Off. Cunt Air was great. There you go. There's a lot of good stuff there. I think Michael Bay was like maybe produced Con Air. I got like Michael Bay vibes off of watching it. I honestly thought Michael Bay directed that movie for a long time till I found out that it was Simon West. And I love Simon West movies. Like, dude, he went on to go do the Tomb Raider movie, and that was produced by Michael Bay. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Rational asking, did I like Paycheck? I did like Paycheck. That opened December 25th, 2003 alongside Peter Pan. We had both movies at the drive-in. I went there on that night and I watched both movies. Really like Paycheck. I need to watch it again. Really loved Peter Pan as well. Very good movies that came out that Christmas. And I feel like Ben Affleck and Uma Thurman did a pretty good job. Wasn't Aaron Eckhart the bad guy in Paycheck? Either way, I liked it. Garrick asking, Time Cop or Universal Soldier? I mean, look, man, the obvious answer, I think for most people, is like Universal Soldier, but I really like Time Cop. But I also really like Universal Soldier. I think Time Cop, like, for just being like a standalone thing, you know, because like they did do the TV show, which was weird. And then like I think Bruce Campbell even like guest starred in an episode of that one. And then I think they did Time Cop 2, but I forget who was in it. And then, of course, Universal Soldier has had Jean-Claude and Dolph Lundgren come back, twice now? So I probably would give it up to the Universal Soldier franchise. Let's see. What's my favorite, Godzilla 98 or Godzilla 2014? Dude, I love Roland Emmerich, but man, you can't defend Godzilla 98. You can't defend it. Godzilla 2014 was really good. I really liked it. I really, really enjoyed it. Ryan here says Con Air is over the top and I love it. Goddamn right. Goddamn right. Garrick here for 5. Thank you. Says, would you rather marathon the Leprechaun or Ernest movies? Ooh, now, okay. So by the way, that's a fucking tough question. It is. Obviously the answer, I think to most people would be like, you're looking at quality and quantity. The Leprechaun movies, I love 1, 2, and 3. Leprechaun in Space is pretty funny. Was Leprechaun in the Hood after number 3? I remember number 2 was in like Atlantic City, I think, right? Or Vegas. It was one of the two. Number 1 had Jennifer Aniston's boobs. I remember that one. But then you get Ernest. And so with Ernest, you have Ernest Goes to Camp, which is a classic. Ernest Saves Christmas. Ernest Goes to Jail. Ernest Scared Stupid, which is a fundamentally good movie. And then after that, you get like Ernest Goes to Africa, and there's a couple other Ernest movies that happened before Jim Varney passed away. So if we were going to do like marathon the first 4 Leprechaun or the first 4 Ernest, I would probably go for the first 4 Ernest, but I would also be torn because I do like the Leprechaun movies quite a bit. Warwick Davis is awesome in the role, and the fact that he just owned doing it was pretty fantastic. Garrick, you're also asking, Hard Target or Broken Arrow? I mean, I'm going to probably go with Hard Target, right? But like only because Hard Target is kind of like the Most Dangerous Game knockoff. But Broken Arrow was good because like, again, like Christian Slater was at the top of his game. Fucking Travolta was just coming off Pulp Fiction. You had Samantha Mathis in the movie. It just was like a nice, fun action movie. But Hard Target goes pretty hard into the paint in a couple scenes. And it was Jean-Claude really at the height of his entire career. You know, I mean, he had a good run for years, but he was getting to like that apex right around that time. You know, I think he peaked with Street Fighter. I'm being honest with you guys. I love the 95 Street Fighter movie. But I'm just saying it's just, I think I would probably go with that. Let's see, Heat or Point Break. I'm going to have to go with Heat because I've never seen Point Break. I've never seen it. I know Catherine Bigelow directed it. I know it's heavily referenced for Hot Fuzz, but I love Heat because I love Michael Mann. I even liked 2006's Miami Vice. A lot of people didn't like Miami Vice. I really enjoyed Miami Vice, and Collateral is God tier. I would argue Collateral is better than Heat. And yeah, I will fight about that. I will fight about that. Let's see. Blarganier says, I once badly hurt myself as a kid trying to do the time cop splits in the kitchen. Dude, yeah. You got to watch out for that, man. And every movie Jean-Claude was in, he showed off his ass. He showed off his ass, but people liked it. People liked it. 1998 Godzilla was dog shit. Yeah. Calvin here says that 98 was better than Godzilla 2014. It was a Jurassic World knockoff, man. What are you talking about? H. Bryce here says Zilla 98 made me question my love of film. You weren't even born yet. I saw that shit in theaters. I even had the soundtrack. All right. I even had the soundtrack to that movie too. But Calvin Jr. does drop a good point. Hank Azaria in Godzilla equals Chef Kiss. Hank Azaria was really good in that. That is true. I liked him quite a bit. Zachary here says, I thought Godzilla 98 was a good, also, by the way, also, I'm going to raise you one real quick. I know everyone's going to be like, oh, Matthew Broderick, fuck that shit, dude. Jean Reno okay. Even better than Hank Azaria was Jean Reno in Godzilla. Okay. All right. But Godzilla 2014 had Bryan Cranston. Zachary here says, I thought Godzilla 98 was a good giant monster movie, but was a fucking horrible Godzilla movie. Yeah, it was. The fact that like the Godzilla had babies in Madison Square Garden was bad. Did I like the 1998 Ronin? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. That was one of the very first movies I ever listened to the audio commentary track on. I mean, how do you go wrong with De Niro and Sean Bean and, man, who else is in that? A lot of people in that movie. Natasha McElhone's in that movie. That was a good fucking movie, dude. I liked it, man. I really enjoyed that movie quite a bit. Isn't John Reno in that one as well? Been all since I see it. Wait, is Ronin streaming anywhere? I know they just played it at the, the New Bev. They just showed it in 35 mil. And I'm bummed I don't live in LA anymore because I would have gone and seen it. Command for 2, thank you, says Godzilla 98 gave us the best Godzilla cartoon. Did it? Was there a cartoon? I don't even remember, man. I don't even remember. Awandi asking, did I hear about Tim Miller taking over Eli Roth's Borderlands? Yeah, well, I know what you mean. It's never a good idea when another director reshoots your movie. They're only doing 2 weeks of pickups. And okay, so look, so at this point we have to kind of look at it kind of surreptitiously. And what I mean by that is it's like, okay, knowing what we know about Zack Snyder, knowing what we know about all of that in regards to how the Snyder Cut happened, right? What we know is that, you know, the trade said that, yeah, Zack picked his buddy Joss, his buddy old pal Joss, to come out and make the movie, right? To finish it up for him. And we know that's a load of bullshit. So, I mean, if it's true that Eli Roth is going off to do Thanksgiving, I would argue that's fine. Okay. Hold on. Sorry, I was holding that in for a while, man. I moved away from the mic. I apologize. That's very gross of me. But I would say this. If that's the case, and like that's true, that's great. Because I think Tim Miller is a great director. I would argue he would have probably done a better job with Borderlands than fucking Eli Roth did. But if Eli Roth is going off to do Thanksgiving, how many of you guys here have actually seen the Thanksgiving trailer? And that's an honest fucking question, guys. That's an honest question. All right. Because for those people out there who remember going to see, like going to see Grindhouse and everything else, you guys remember what it was like watching those trailers. You know, Machete came out of that, right? And people out there love Machete. We got a sequel out of it, right? We got a fucking sequel out of Machete. Not that the sequel was any good, but we got it. You know, and then there's the questions of like, what about Vampire Women or Werewolf Women of the SS, directed by Rob Zombie and starring Nick Cage, or Don't, directed by Edgar Wright, and the narrator was Will Arnett. You know, there's like a lot of crazy good stuff there that came out of this. This is the trailer for Thanksgiving, so I'm definitely on board. And I'll say this before we watch it. I have a feeling if this movie was fast-tracked, I have a feeling a big reason for that is the success of Terrifier 2. If you want my honest opinion, I think the success of Terrifier has maybe pushed this thing through because they need something that can match it in its violence and its gore. And quite frankly, Eli Roth and his Hostel movies and even Cabin Fever were just fundamentally fucked up. So let's give this a go.
This holiday season, prepare to have the stuffing scared out of you. Thanksgiving. In the town of Plymouth, Massachusetts.
I can't make it any louder, I'm sorry.
Is the most celebrated day of the year. The table is set. The festivities have begun. One uninvited guest has arrived. And this year, there will be no leftovers. Thanksgiving.
Oh shit, I forgot there's boobs.
White meat. Dark meat.
Well,
All will
not
be
much I can do about that now. Ah.
Thanksgiving.
Come on, Judy, how about it?
Happy Thanksgiving, baby.
Is that Reese Witherspoon?
Thanksgiving.
Cool it, Judy. You're safe. Mommy's here. It's blood. Son of a bitch.
Arrive hungry.
Happy Thanksgiving, Grandma.
Leave stuff.
Oh my.
From director Eli Roth. Thanksgiving. You'll come.
So yeah, that one is like that, right? I mean, that one was shot like, yes, hopefully it is shot like that. I'm hoping. Simon for 2 thank you says, thank you very much. Best moment in God. Okay. I don't know. I have no idea what you're saying there. But Grace dropped her, and no, I don't want to watch Grace. I don't like watching Grace. I like watching Grace when she has bad takes. I don't like watching Grace when she doesn't have bad takes. Blarganier says looks like a masterpiece. Yeah, it is. That was one of the. I mean, again, like that was if you guys have never seen Grindhouse, you're totally missing out. I think it's amazing. It's gonna be fantastic here. So I didn't cover this the other day, but we'll watch this real quick, and then we gotta wind it down. We're getting close to the hour and a half mark. Again, I got the kids in the morning. I barely slept last night. But this is the trailer for Renfield, which I think is gonna be Universal's kind of killing it recently. All right, like Universal is kind of killing it recently with these movies. And so this was going to be great. I can't wait to see this.
Sorry to interrupt. Are you okay? I need to get out of a toxic relationship.
Why don't you start by telling us what brought you here?
My boss, he's different.
You can't get him out of your head.
No.
I need your assistance.
I'm coming, Master!
Oh, you feel like he could destroy you with the snap of his fingers.
Wouldn't even need to snap.
Okay.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, what?
Renfield. Bring in innocent victims. I want a handful of nuns, a busload of cheerleaders,
and I just want a normal life again.
But this modern world is a dangerous place.
Thank you. You saved my life. Did I watch you cut a guy with a decorative serving platter?
It's in the wrist. Let me explain.
My boss gave me this power. In return, I tend to his needs, including care, feeding.
You bring him people to eat? You're like the guy that gets the villain's Postmates.
But if you were to stop focusing on his needs, what would happen?
He won't grow to full power.
Exactly. He won't grow to full power. What? That's so weird. Why would you phrase it like that? But yes. Hi, are you here for the meeting? Well, come on. No! No!
Some call me the Dark One, others the Lord of Death. To most, I am Dracula.
Okay, obviously we're dealing with a little bit more than just narcissism here.
Now, let's eat.
That is going to be so much fun to watch them. I cannot wait to see that. That's going to be great. It just looks good. You know, it just looks good. It really does. It just looks like a lot of fun. Command here for 5. Thank you, buddy. Says Google Godzilla the series. It directly continues Godzilla 98. Made me love the film with how many plot lines it gave the series. Really? Let's see. Is there... Okay. Well, here. We'll take a look at the... Because I found it. I did Google it real quick. We'll bring up the opening real quick because it's only a minute. I've never seen this, to be honest with you. But if you okay. I mean, that's the good thing about this ancillary content. Sometimes it can really open up the lore. However weird that is to say about Godzilla 1998. I'm sorry. Like, I'm looking at that and it's just like, for one, they said nothing. So I can only infer what I see in the title or in the video. Right. And it's just like Godzilla's just tearing his way through New York. Obviously, Matthew Broderick's character is that, I forget, was not Anne Heche was in that one. It wasn't Anne Heche, was it? You know? And then it's like, and then Hank Azaria's camera guy, was that it? Or whatever. And then it's like Godzilla fighting. I mean, I don't know. Okay. Is there like, you know what? Maybe there's like a retrospective video I can watch on it at some point in time. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Ryan here for 5. Thank you, buddy. Says, now this is how you properly reboot the Universal horror films. I agree. I don't think they're going to do it like that. I will say though, like part of the vibe I got, like the neons kind of felt like the way Rob Zombie directed The Munsters. Just way more effective. So, and I think Chris McKay directed Renfield. He was gonna do the Dungeons and Dragons movie, but he ended up I wrote the script for it, I think. Thank you. And then HWAD5 says, for those of you, for you, who is the most you're asking me who is the most overrated director, and you say that it's Wes Anderson, that you've never enjoyed any of his films outside of Bottle Rocket. I think I was telling you, we were talking about Bottle Rocket the other day. The most overrated director for me, Man, how do I, God, who is it? Like, I know there's, like, trying to think of who, because it's like on the tip of my tongue, but I'm just having a little bit of trouble putting it together right now. Man, who is the most overrated? Like, who do you guys think is the most overrated director? Like, you know what are your thoughts? Because I'm blanking on like who it is. Because I know there's someone everyone likes that I've never liked any of their films. I just can't think of it right now. I do not know why. Who do you guys not like? That's the question. All right. J.J. Abrams, Scorsese. Wow. Man, who the fuck do I just not like? I'll tell you this one. I'll just say this right now. I'll catch some shit for it later on. And if someone in the comments will say something. Patty Jenkins is overrated as fuck. How about that? Patty Jenkins is overrated. Paul Feig is a bit overrated too. I mean, he's okay. But it's like, whatever. Shogun here for 5. Thank you, Shogun. Says there was also the Men in Black cartoon. Looks like the same animation style as that Godzilla. It does. I remember I remember that. That stuff came out when I was like late in my teens. Right. So for me, I never saw it. You know what I mean? Like for me, it was just never the thing. All right. So, okay. There's the scene. All right. Sorry. I'm just getting something prepped here because, spherical or no. Sorry. I lost. There we go. Simon section says John Reno Elvis impersonation Godzilla 98. All right. I had to look that up real quick. So there we go. And this is just, apparently that, and then we'll just do a couple more things and we'll get out of here a little early tonight so I can actually get some sleep.
What's with the chewing gum?
Makes us look more American.
Oh, really? Just let me do all the talking, all right?
Who you boys with?
We're with the 3-2, sir.
I didn't ask you, soldier.
Oh, well, Sergeant O'Neill just called down for us. He wants us to join him right now, sir. Thank you.
You got a problem talking?
Well, no, sir, I'm fine.
All right, keep it moving.
Well, thank you very much.
Elvis Presley movies. What's the king?
Who doesn't love Jean Reno? Who doesn't love that man? I love that man. Did you guys ever see Wasabi? Did you ever see Wasabi? Wasabi was pretty good. Wasabi was solid. That was a fun one with Jean Reno. There's a lot of good movies with him in it, man. How old is he now? God, I gotta look that up. Jean Reno age. God, please don't be that. He's 74. No. What? No, Jean Reno, you can't age. You glorious bastard. Fucking no. What? Oh, man. That sucks, dude. That sucks. Because, I love Jean Reno. Who doesn't love Jean fucking Reno? God damn it, man. Aging sucks. Aging sucks a lot, man. Anyway, command unit here for 5. Thank you, buddy. Says the main Godzilla in the series is one of the babies in the 98 film, and it bonds with the main character. Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Here, John asking WW84 or Ghostbusters 2016. Which one would I watch again? Probably Wonder Woman 84. I cannot do Ghostbusters. I can't. Oh, Matthew, we know how well you can act, but you give such a subpar performance. Well, It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. Yeah, he was awesome as Leon. I want the professional sequel with Natalie Beck. Yeah, I've been wanting that too. That'd be great. All right. Yeah, Mad brings up here. John was in the video game called Onimusha 3. Yeah, that's right. He was in Onimusha. The guy, by the way, so I'm going to be doing the audio commentary on Silent Hill for next month. And I was actually putting my script together on that. And the guy who directed Silent Hill was actually going to continue working with gaming. He was trying to get an Onimusha movie off the ground after doing Silent Hill. So, but now that he's back on board to do Silent Hill 2, we're going to have to wait on that one. I think like Onimusha would have been a very interesting game series or movie. I think if they would have done that, right? So there's that, right? Ryan here says Tom Savini is 76 and still looks great. Yes. Who doesn't love Tom Savini? Can we get Tom Savini to like direct again? That'd be fantastic, man. Love me some Tom Savini. I was gonna get to like the whole stuff with The Last of Us, but apparently the embargo doesn't drop till the middle of the night, so we're not gonna. We'll cover it tomorrow when I'm on. Should be good. Let's finish up the night here with this from Command Unit. Who is the most evil character in 40K? I guess a humorous take on it. If you want to know your 40K pill, this is it. If you guys got a bail, I completely understand. Do me a solid, tickle the like on your way out. Just make it happy. Make it happy. All right. Give a little love, baby.
The most evil, mustache twirling character in all of 40K. Tristan, the Infinite, probably has a stage mustache from the silent movie era of Earth, so gets my vote. Possibly Vect, more likely some Dark Eldar or Emperor's Children Marine we've never heard of. The motivation of the Dark Eldar is literally causing as much suffering as science allows. And oh, do they enjoy it? Their nominal leader, Vect, probably has too much scheming to do to match some of his less ambitious subjects. The Dark Eldar can spread your guts across a football stadium and keep you alive for years in that state. Some Emperor's Children are like that, but unlike the Dark Eldar, don't need to in order to survive. They'll peel you slowly purely for their own entertainment. I rate them over characters like Erebus, who are assholes for the sake of power and haven't turned suffering into a mad science. Ansu. I feel the qualifier of mustache twirling implies a certain amount of class and sophistication in one's evil, which automatically disqualifies such cravens as Erebus and grand-scale megalomaniacs such as Vect. From this refined pool, I would say the winner would be Tristan. He's a mind-controlling, self-interested mastermind who will gladly manipulate, kidnap and extort anyone he cares to, all in service of his own goals. Who will doom entire worlds for petty grievances, stick souls galore in self-aggrandizing galleries, and feels not one jot of remorse for any of his actions. He's also fond of witty banter, has a sense of humor, and will gladly leave his enemies alive, albeit humbled. He's the classic vaudeville villain, and far above such pedestrian lunatics as most chaos worshippers. Goj Vandire, aka Doge Vandire. Sanch with a mustache. Skravok was fun and irredeemable. I'll go against the grain and argue that Emil Darkhammer is the clearest contender. Yes, there are many individuals that have caused more suffering, but there are few, very few, to have matched the scale of senseless destruction. The man's kill count must eclipse Karn's at this point. To be mustache twirling, you have to be self-aware, so Big E is out. Probably Vector Rikarth. Maybe Be'lakor. Be'lakor did steal an entire planet, so I'm gonna say him. Pontius Glor really creeped me the F out. The guy was an utter nutcase but came entirely too close to his objective, which I don't remember. I learned about him through this sub actually, but damn did he creep me out. Vect, Ansu, and Fabius Bile would all gladly tie up a space marine and leave him on the railroad tracks in front of an approaching locomotive. The Imperium itself. If I had a penny for every time the Imperium has counter-effed itself because of greed, corruption, envy, you name it, I would be rich enough to fund my own rogue trader. And possibly a whole ass great crusade. Off topic, if the mustache twirling part wasn't mentioned, I'd say Armin just to watch the thread melt over. On topic, possessed Fulgrim. According to Phil Kelly, that would be the Ethereals. At least the way he writes his Tau novels. The commissar who went around executing Cadians for dropping their rifles as their planet was blowing apart. Games Workshop. Who do you think is the most evil 40K character?
Do you want to voice this one, James?
Leave it in the comments below. See you next time.
I don't get any of that. I'm sorry. I tried. You're right. James is right. The problem with AI voices is that the humor gets lost. There's that. There's a lot. You know, I've been watching a lot of videos on like, you know, AI stuff, right? And people are just like, you know, like, oh, you can go get these AI voices to, like, you know, so you don't ever have to talk. And I'm like, that, yeah, but they sound so bad. Some sound okay, but it's like you're spending more money to pay for that than anything else. So it's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous there. H-Bart's here for 5. Thank you, buddy. It says, you need to get Paramount Plus and watch the Yellowstone shows, including Tulsa King. Great show. I've heard nothing but good things about all that. My stepmom is really into Yellowstone, and I do love me some Kevin Costner. I hear the show's like really fucked up. Like really fucked up. So that is something I need to check out. But all right, guys, on that note, it is time for me to, come on, Rational. Is it like, come on, dude. How long is it? If it's long, I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying right now, because I do got to get to bed, man. It's a school night. Let's see here. What is it? Is it long? Modern Warfare again? Hold on. Okay. I can go with 254. That's fine. That's fine. Let's see if this is going to load at all. Because the last video you sent me didn't even work. All right.
Scorpio, proceed to the palace. Be advised, multiple hostile sightings between your location and the palace grounds. House Kurita is landing dropships at strategic locations around the city of Tolek.
Okay, we know they're here somewhere. Fan out, let's get some eyes on these bastards.
The satellites are down. We've lost off-world communications.
Roger, Scorpio leader. Launching drone. Grid setting Fox 9er. Battle grid updates inbound. Confirmed.
Two unidentified targets acquired.
Central, we have 2 unidentified targets. No, wait. No, shh.
New target. Designation General 01. Warning. Launch detected. Target destroyed.
My God!
New target. Designation level.
I need fire support.
Shut up! I can't get to you! Daxon is down! Engaging Atlas!
Central, I need support! We've been placed out here!
We need air support! Send in Zulu 6-5! We need reinforcements! Our lines are breached!
Critical systems damage. Battle offline.
Yeah! Take that, you son of a...
Target is charging weapons. Multiple nuclear systems offline. Life support system. Eject.
Like, the fuck? So I mean, I remember, you know, when we got Mech Warrior 2 when I was a kid, and I played the hell out of that. I've always felt like the Mech Warrior franchise, kind of like the Mech Assault franchise, has just kind of like never really adapted with the times. I mean, remember Steel Battalion, for crying out loud? That was a fun one. My friend had that. I never paid the money, but he paid the money. You know, and this is, I don't know, like, I feel like I'm watching this thing and like how it just kind of feels like slow moving. And I'm like, Titanfall, just give me Titanfall 3, but we're never going to get Titanfall 3, unfortunately. That's unfortunate. It is MechWarrior. Yeah, it's true. Ryan here says, thank you for 5. If you like Eli Roth's Thanksgiving trailer, then I think you'll enjoy the original My Bloody Valentine. Yeah, I think I will. I do like those kind of movies. I do like them. They're a lot of fun. So we'll get to that. That will be, when is that? Did you see I posted the schedule in the Discord? If you guys aren't in the Discord, you should check it out. Link is in the video description. So I did post the, let's see. Where is it? Trying to remember. Sorry, guys. Trying to find it there. It's got to go. I got to go all the way back past all the fucking Disney stuff. All right. So, yeah. So the Podio commentary lineup is, like I said, we got Battle Los Angeles coming on Wednesday. January 18th is Prisoners. 25th is The Mist. Then February 1st is The Book of Eli. February 8th is Silent Hill. February 15th to coincide with Valentine's Day is My Bloody Valentine. And then February 25th, that's not right. I have to switch that date around. But it's going to be February, what is it? It's not 25th. It's going to be February 22nd. Sorry, will be The Running Man. So we'll have that up. Everything else is going to be fine. But all right, everybody, thank you all so much for hanging out. I really appreciate that. You guys always make this the best show in town. It really, really, really is. Remember, if you want to get this Battle Los Angeles explained Podio commentary, youtube.com/Podio commentary. I'm going to keep pimping it until I get the 1,000 subs and the 4,000 hours watched, because that's just how I work. But all right, guys, MODOK is coming. And I'm going to get off the internet and do the same thing. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Peace the fuck out.